Welcome, lovers of the puzzles and mysteries of our planet. Today, I'm going to tell you about a very exotic version of ancient history, where our planet functions as a giant mine for an unknown civilization. Today, we have a huge number of artifacts, which cannot be reproduced due to lack of technology, equipment, and experts, and which testify that 2,000 years ago, there was a global civilization on Earth, compared to which we are mere children in the sandbox. Many traces of the existence of advanced civilizations in the past remain on this planet. They had technologies that were no worse than those of today. According to alternative history supporters, the scientific community is covering up the obvious technologies of ancient people, which definitely exceeded our modern ones by several orders of magnitude. Ancient mountains with traces of working are found all over the planet, and even flattened mountains with a completely flat surface. People have been visiting and living near them for hundreds of years, but few people think about how volcanic lava or weathering could have polished them so smoothly. In today's video, you will see interesting and mysterious photos of the Grand Canyon in Arizona, quarry at the top of Nokogiri in Japan, Lunyu and Langtze caves in China, and other objects that raise many questions and lead scientists into a dead end. Let's start by saying that in ancient times, there was a civilization which was able to process mountains on an industrial scale without any problems. This is proven by real examples. Just look at the cultivated mountains in Peru. Pictures prove that an unknown civilization was able to, in ancient times, to work mountains on a huge scale. And this is a worked mountain of diorite. This, in turn, proves that ancient technologies and tools allowed them to work with rocks of any hardness without any problems. This is the Nokogiri Mountains in Japan. The land of the rising sun is full of mysterious places. One of them is a mine located in the high-altitude Nokogiri area. Mount Nokogiri is 329.5 meters high. It got this unusual name because of its amazing shape, which is the only one in the world. Nokogiri is made of volcanic tuff, which is ideal for forming various structures. Therefore, historians claim that the mountain has been used as a quarry since the beginning of the Edo period. Alternative historians claim that the Nokogiri high-altitude quarry bears traces of an unknown stone mining technology. There are clear traces of mining equipment on the walls of the ancient quarry. At the same time, the quarry is located on the top of the mountain. Right at the top of the mountain, traces of stone mining are visible, and traces are left by some high-tech tools. We are talking about a time several centuries ago. Moreover, the excavated rock was somehow lowered down, which was borderline impossible according to the technology of the time. The method of digging the extremely narrow tunnels in the Nokogiri Mountains is also a mystery. The pain and difficulty of working at such a height are unimaginable. However, when you look at the steep walls of this quarry, it is clear that the stone was not quarried by hand. The horizontal marks on the steep walls are probably not from a chisel or other hand tool. Such traces are left by mining equipment. There is one more visual spot that shows the incredible processing of the mountain and the subsequent creation of mysterious objects. All of this is located in China, and today, the quarry is called Jiang. Just look at the pieces that were carved out of the rocks. The blocks weigh 6, 8, and 16,000 tons. Think about these numbers. The existence of Chinese megaliths directly proves that in ancient times, there were builders capable of working with entire mountains. The weight of their buildings was beyond all limits, even for today. The scope of the excavations is staggering, but scientists continue to ignore or distort them in favor of official versions. On the one hand, it's hard to believe everything. But on the other hand, there are many facts which directly speak of ancient mining. People often ask themselves the question, why is such an advanced civilization built only of stone? The answer is very simple. If it turns out that the land was just a quarry. Imagine for a moment that an extraterrestrial civilization would discover valuable resources on Earth and decide to mine them. They will move equipment here for a while and build the necessary facilities. After preparation, he will take the ingredients from our country and fly away. Does this seem fantastic? Imagine our civilization in 300 or 500 years. Do you think we wouldn't do the same if we discovered a planet with valuable resources, even if it were inhabited by less advanced life forms? I doubt it. There are other places that many researchers would classify as old quarries, but that's not the case. Such examples include huge blocks on the edge of a canyon. In the central part of North America, no one would think that this canyon is an ancient quarry. And huge blocks with the correct geometry are the remains of the rock, which was quarried for construction in antediluvian times. However, according to official history, no ancient stone cities existed in North America. Or were they washed away by a mighty flood, which left canyons in some places? American geologists are considering the version of the formation of canyons as a result of the outflow of a glacial lake. According to scientists, everything turned out to be simple with blocks. There are straight cracks in the rock, and along these cracks on the edge of the canyon, the blocks broke off into individual elements. Cracks in the rock could have been caused by shrinkage deformation, when rock loses moisture as it gains strength. Scientists believe that the blocks were not carved or chipped. This is the collapse of individual parts on the edge of the canyon in the process of erosion, when the substrate beneath the stone layer is washed away. But for some reason, nothing like that is happening now. So the process of formation of these smooth stone blocks remains a mystery. And this is another canyon in the state of Arizona. Like many other places in the world, it is full of worked mountains, at the foot of which lie the remains of excavated rock. Everywhere there are perfectly flat, charred and industrially polished walls. Many of them look as if they were carved with a knife on molten rock. Photos of the Grand Canyon show the artificial origin of some of the mountains, processed in some cases by melting. The beauty of this work is so grandiose, until it amazes you. Modern technology does not allow us to imagine, how could rocks be cut on such a scale? Official science attributes everything to the whims of nature. However, in the legends of many nations, it is told that in ancient times, the gods carved rocks without much effort. So there was a special mining device, sanded walls, traces of melting, polishing, circular saws, milling cutters, natural steps. How big do machines have to be to leave such traces? Machines. It's hard to imagine that in ancient times, there were machines capable of cutting rocks like plasticine. Trucks as big as a huge house, cyclops-sized machines were apparently at work on our planet. If cultivated mountains raise many questions in America and Japan, then there are also caves in China. The Lunyu caves are carved in the homogeneous medium-hard rock. The time of the cave's formation is unknown. Some refer to them as the Shu period, others during the Han Dynasty, which ruled at the border of both eras. Another period of the Qin Dynasty, which ruled all of China between the Shu and Han dynasties. The dating of the construction can only be inferred from indirect data. For example, from the analysis of stalactites, which were given bizarre shapes by hand. In short, caves leave scientists with plenty to debate. The size of the caves is considerable due to their anthropogenic origin. The average area of each room is more than 1,000 square meters, and the height reaches up to 30 meters. The total area of all the caves found is more than 30,000 square meters. Total volume of rock excavated during construction amounted to approximately 1 million meters of rock. Each of the caves is a huge funnel-shaped hole. 3 walls in the cave are transversely vertical. The fourth rises at an angle of 45. There are parallel furrows on the walls and ceiling, about 60 centimeters wide, as if left by an ancient drilling rig. In each cave, the vault is supported by 3 columns. Manually sampling such a volume of rock is a challenging task. And most importantly, why? What were such large halls intended for? There is not a single mention of their construction or existence in known historical sources. Scientists from the fields of archaeology, architecture, even engineering and geology have absolutely no idea about it, how the grottos were built, by whom, and why. One version of Lunar cave technology is that they were excavated using a road excavator. If we compare the Lunar caves with modern salt mines, we can notice the similarity of the traces he left on the walls of the mines. Rauthida, engravings in the Chinese caves of Lunar, and traces of the work of the Hydra in the salt mines are very similar. However, Chinese scientists give the age of Lunar cave for 2,000 to 2,200 years. The origin of the Lunar cave is mystical. It turned out that there are other similar caves. One of them was discovered by scientists near the village of Shetang, near the city of Langxi. Langxi Cave covers an area of more than 3,000 square meters, of which more than 500 square meters is flooded with water, and the depth is unknown. The caves are located near the Lunar cave system. The vaults of the Langxi caves are very low, and there are clear sediments inside, which was brought by a river flowing nearby during major floods. The presence of stone in this sediment, it suggests some larger event, something like a debris flow in a riverbed. The huge stone dome of Langxi Cave, it is supported by 15 columns in the shape of fishtails. Stone bridge, just like in the Lunar caves, shows clear traces of mining machinery. The machine tracks are very smooth, slightly inclined vertical tracks, about 25 centimeters long. A stonemason's chisel does not leave such marks. Manual mining of such a volume of rock is laborious work. One version is that the excavation was carried out by an ancient mining machine. And that's all for today. Give a like if you liked the video. Write comments, and see you again soon.